Would you leave behind your life and your loved ones for a year to live in a simulated outer space experiment in the name of science? Well, that's exactly what our next guest did.
It's been 378 days since these 4 volunteers stepped into a mock-up of life on Mars.
Our best wishes go with you as you begin this adventure of discovery.
Nathan Jones, Anka Saleriou, Kelly Haston and Ross Brockwell gave up a lot to live in the 3D printed habitat at the NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston.
Sorry. To my wife and kids, I love you, the moon. Sorry, Mars, and back.
The structure is just over 1,500 square centimetres, consisting of 4 small bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a work area, exercise room and a medical bay.
With the intent that we can have Mars realistic restrictions and we can really start to understand how those restrictions are associated with their health and performance over that year.
Daily life for the crew included simulated mission operations such as Mars walks, maintaining equipment, growing their own produce and following a strict meal plan. The goal, to track how they fared so NASA can work towards a real mission on the Red Planet.
Besides the isolation, confinement, and the sheer distance, would be things like being able to get along.
And just over a week ago, the dedicated explorers emerged, ready to rejoin real life.
You ready to come out? Hey!
Their mission finally complete.
Well, here to tell us all about it is one of the crew members himself, physician and medical officer, Dr. Nathan Jones.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nathan, let's talk about the success that you had day to day. I want to know what it looked like. What were you doing every day inside the simulation?
You know, a lot of the simulation looks a lot like just your everyday life would. Anyway, you know, you do a lot of maintenance around a home. You do a lot of exercise if you know you want to be healthy. On top of that, though, we had some unique experiences like Mars realistic science experiments, and we had EVAs, as NASA calls them, or Mars walks in this case, and we did over 100 of those during the mission.
Now, I've got to ask you the most important question to me. What did you eat on Mars? And can you drink beers there?
Is there a bar?
Unfortunately, there is no alcohol law allowed on Mars currently, but I think a lot of the same foods that you would eat on a day-to-day basis, only typically you're going to expect them to be maybe lower salt because we wouldn't want to have a retention of fluids in space and that sort of thing.
What was your first meal when you finally got out?
So it was a family member's birthday, and strangely, after spending an entire year unable to eat the foods that I would have normally chosen to eat, I got to eat what a family member chose instead. It was actually just some bread and butter at a restaurant locally.
Oh, what? Oh, come on. What are you doing?
That was the first year.
Isn't that what like they serve in prison?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I think I pointed out to people, even in the mission, that I've certainly eaten much worse foods outside of the mission than I had in the mission for the most part.
All been there, little sad microwave meal on a Friday night.
You spent every day for the past year with the same 3 people in close quarters.
Yes.
How are you getting on now?
Yes, that's correct. Very well, actually. And during the mission, I just really appreciated the opportunity to collaborate with such awesome people. And I think we really developed a great friendship over the course of the mission that'll probably be lifelong.
Here's the thing, though, Nathan. Like, I would consider Nick, Sam and Waleed lifelong friends, but you must have run out of conversation at some point. What day was it?
I don't think we ever really truly ran out of conversation. There was certainly a lot of recycling going on.
But we saw that you were quite emotional before you left. You've got a wife and young kids. I also have a wife and young kids. How awesome was it to be away for a whole year?
Oh, yeah. So as far as that goes, they were completely supportive. You know, you mentioned that there were some tears in that, in the ingress and everything. And I would say that going into it, I was worried that one of my largest liabilities would be just having family and, you know, if anything happened with them. But in the end, I would say that they were actually a really great support system that helped to make me just all that much more successful.
And if you finally got the opportunity to go to Mars for real, are you doing it?
You know, I'd have to really think about that. I would love to personally get to stand on Mars and get to experience that. At the same time, you know, having spent already a year away from my friends and family that I hold so dear, to know that I would have to spend an additional 3 more, which is the current expectation, I believe, for some real mission to there and back. It'd be something I'd have to really discuss with them in detail before I made a decision.
But Nathan, that's like doing a medical degree and then not being a doctor. You've done the work.
Yeah. Or running on a treadmill and then never actually going for a jog outside.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it, though. You know, we're just helping with this leg of the journey, and we're going to pass on the baton to the next part of it.
Wow, Nathan. I mean, I don't know how on earth you did that, but thank you for your service all the same.
How on Mars you did it.
Thank you all for your interest in our mission and taking time to interview me.